Honestly, I think that was probably the best pre-show conversations we've ever had in this entire show's base ever. Like just talking about sand and Ocean City one night stands. It's not. It's a hell of a ride when it's quarantine time. We don't have a lot to talk about, but that was a good back and forth. And I'm just letting the listeners know what we talk about in the pre-show stuff. So
He's trying to cover his ass, isn't he?
Oh, absolutely.
cover me for what? What did I do wrong? Like I told you guys, whatever I did before a certain event happens.
We know what you did with that sand.
Yep. And then all of a sudden the coronavirus happened. Coincidence?
Oh, well, I didn't need a bat, so that's number one. I'm too picky of a eater. You know what? Actually, if it was a chicken wing, I think I would eat the bat.
That's the thing. Haven't you seen Anchorman 2? You could have eaten some fried bat.
I was gonna say Anchorman 2 was definitely me when I was gonna eat the fried bat.
Yeah, man, I've seen you devour wings. If someone slipped a bat in there, you wouldn't have known. Yeah, exactly.
You could slip a rat in probably any of my wings, and I'll probably eat it. I think if it's well hidden enough, I think I can eat it.
Oh yeah, you just deep fry the shit out of it. You don't know any different.
Exactly. And plus, we'll find out next week. When we go to Wing Factory, Jeff, you're coming because you're back in town. Are you?
Am I? You guys sending out the company limo to pick me up?
I thought you would be coming back for the 4th of July. I guess not.
I don't know. We'll have to see.
Damn. Well, boys and girls, this is another episode of your favorite hockey podcast, Five Holers, a podcast that somewhat talks about hockey. I think that's the best way to put it on for the new listeners. I'm always your host, Michael LaFaro Shanuti, with his two line mates, one in goal, the one that stops the puck, even if the puck isn't coming his way, the Walrus, Zach Vincent. What's going on, buddy?
Nada, dude. How's everybody feeling tonight?
Feeling like $1 million. I just after that pregame show, I feel like a giddy man. So,
like a what?
A giddy man.
Oh, I thought you said something else.
I
thought you were slurring my people, man.
And always the man that will put a check on you when you call him this name, the Reverend Jeff Schneider. How are you doing, buddy?
Great, man. Just living life, trapped in this box.
Pittsburgh treating you well?
We're out and about now. Green area, free, whatever, phase 3 or whatever. So it's only a matter of 2 weeks before we find out that Corona has gone through the roof here.
I mean, like that's a good segue into what we should talk about first. I mean, like with Florida opening up and all these states that opened up really quickly. I mean, it's not too hard pressed to see what just happened with the Tampa Bay Lightning and what went down. Zach, what happened with the Tampa Bay Lightning this week?
The Lightning had 5 players test positive for coronavirus. A total of 11 people now, if I'm not mistaken, in the NHL have tested positive for coronavirus, all players, one of which being Austin Matthews.
Oh!
Man, Toronto's getting bumped earlier and earlier. They don't even have to worry about facing Boston this year. With Matthews out of the lineup, there they go.
Getting up the Toronto already.
Yeah, between that and Tampa Bay missing a line, it sounds like they'll lose even quicker than last year. So,
Jesus, especially with these two choke artists of teams, like of course they lost their best players, and probably, I mean, it's not hard pressed to think the Lightning lost Stamkos at this point. Like Stamkos, even if he didn't get it, he's just gonna be like, nah, dude, I'm good. Like I don't want a first round exit with like scrubs.
Yeah, have we heard any names for Tampa?
What'd you say?
Have we heard any names?
No.
They didn't come out with names?
No names have come out. The only reason Austin Matthews' name came out is because he self-disclosed.
Gotcha. I have a feeling it's all the triplets are out.
That would be interesting.
Yeah, even if Stammer comes back, they're going to be short a whole line.
Jesus. Do you guys actually think these playoffs are going to actually happen? Like, I know they said, like, July 10th is when they're all supposed to start, like, practicing, quote unquote. Like, do you guys think, like, with these phase 2, phase 3 now initiatives in all the states, like, do you think these players are going to play, or are they going to just, I mean, like, to say, like, to be like the NBA with the NHL is kind of like, like, I guess it's like forbidden, but it's true. Like, some of these players might not even play even if they started. So do you think it's going to start? And do you think like players are going to play, or is it going to be scrubs?
I think it's going to start. I think it's going to happen. But it's really a question of whether it should happen or not. And I'm firmly in the camp that it shouldn't happen. But that's a different discussion for later on in the podcast, to say the least. I think they're going to push it through. I saw rumors that actually, though, that the NHLPA might demand a vote of all the players instead of just the board of directors to decide if they were going to play or not, which I think would be an interesting way to get an actual read on how the players felt about the situation. I actually see some real numbers of all the players and how they feel about what's going on.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I kind of have a feeling it's going to happen unless we see a lot more people end up with coronavirus, a lot more players end up with coronavirus. Because one thing with hockey that's like, in the NBA, you can have the bench spread out. Like, I've heard they're going to do the first 2 rows are going to be the bench for the players. In hockey, you can't extend that bench any longer. Like, so I don't get how you're sitting next to someone. Like, if someone has it, it's going to just fly through a team. Like,
I mean, flu hits teams every year. Or you remember all the mumps from a couple years back? That spread wildfire too.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm wondering. I saw these helmets from Bauer, I think it was, and it's basically like the shields again, and then they had something like covering the mouth. So I'm kind of wondering, are they going to make them wear like full, like the shields and stuff to try to prevent it or something? I don't know, because you still have to have holes, otherwise it's gonna all fog up on you. Like, I mean, we know the woes with the glasses and shit, but like, yeah, I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I think it's going to happen, but I don't think it's going to be what we expected, like, for hockey to be. Whether people don't go on their own, or whether people are sick, or people don't want to, like, be away from their family, or for whatever reason. I mean, I know basketball's got a completely different reason for thinking about skipping with all the social issues going on, but I don't think that's the same with hockey right now.
No. And I think, and to piggyback off your guys' point, I mean, is the NHL money, like, think about it this way, as an owner's perspective, and all the GMs and Bateman, are they all thinking also, like, we're not like the NFL, we're not like the NBA, we're not, and whatever is happening with the MLB, fuck them. Their money situation is a little tighter, so I feel like they are more in urgency to get back on the ice and to get the TV deals that would come with that, as well as, like, some players are not paid like NFL players. Like we said, there's healthy scratches. There's players that don't even make like $80,000.
To stop you there to make a point, NHL players do not get paid for the playoffs. So anyone who comes back who's playing is paying for free during these playoffs.
But don't they get money, like, if you win a round and stuff like that? Like, I thought you got bonuses as the playoffs go on. Yeah, and I mean, the thing is, the NHL makes most of its money, like, at the gate too, and there's going to be no one at these games, so they're already losing all the money like that. I mean, the TV rights have already been sold. Someone owns it for this season.
Yeah, NBC does.
Yeah, so I mean, they'll be able to get it from that, but they're going to lose out a lot of money whether they play or don't.
I just feel like there's going to be an upheaval, like, I would say, in, like, some of those players, like you said, have to worry about their families, and then, like, their significant others with pre-existing conditions, where they just don't want. They're not going to play in Disney World like the fucking NBA. They're all going to stay in hotels in wherever they're going to pick, because right now I think it's Las Vegas and one of the Canadian places like Toronto. Probably not Toronto anymore, but Vancouver and Edmonton, I think, was the other two. Like, our players going to be like, fuck that. Like, we rather just take the loss and play next year. I feel like that's going to be a topic of conversation, especially now. Austin Matthews being one of them, one of the biggest stars in their league. Like, of course, they're going to have to be like, maybe we should calm down a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting. I kind of wonder, are they going to have, like, villages like the Olympics do, like, for all the players? And what's the deal? Like, Canada, you have to quarantine for 14 days isolate for 14 days before you can go out and about. Like, are they going to still do that with this? Like, also, when you're bumped out of the playoffs, do you have to do that on the way back home too? Because last thing you want to do is possibly get something there and then give it to your family and stuff. Like, so, I don't know. It'll be interesting. I mean, I feel like they should kind of have all this stuff in place already, and maybe they just aren't sharing it with the public, but
Yeah,
interesting to see.
Waiting for some more details to emerge. There really are so many little questions that are involved in this that, a lot of stuff that we just brought up where it really is a question of how are these players' quality of life going to be affected during this? I mean, I don't want these guys to be like prisoners just going from hotel rooms to practice facilities to games. Like, that's not fair to them just because I want to watch hockey.
Right. Yeah, is that they're going to have like a couple hotels for all the players and then those gyms are just going to be packed?
That's what I'm saying. Like, they're packed to the gills with people like just on top of each other. Like the way that the villages would be set up, I would say like after you get balanced, you would have to wait 2 weeks after that to go home, right? Like you have to at least give yourself some time to recover, I guess, from whatever symptoms if there was a spread. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
I just, how do you guys feel about like the Las Vegas being one of them and one of the Canadian places being one of them? Like, I feel like we thought it was going to be like, for instance, Pittsburgh and like maybe like Arizona, like one of those places. Like I didn't think for a million years it was going to be like Canada and Las Vegas, but I guess Las Vegas also has the means to do it, but like, are they
plenty
actually
of hotels?
Yeah.
They got plenty of hotels there.
I was about to say, keep everybody apart as much as they can, but
yeah,
I don't know. How do you guys feel about Las Vegas being one of them and the Canadian places?
I feel like Las Vegas is a good location for the players just based off the fact there's a shitload of hotel rooms. There's a lot of stuff to do. They'd be able to find ways to entertain the players in their downtime. But at the same time, Las Vegas is also one of the biggest hotspots of coronavirus in the United States right now. So I'm not sure how I feel about it in that respect. As far as Vancouver is concerned, Canada's done a good job containing the spread of the virus. I think the number I saw was that Vancouver had 44 new cases last week or something, which is an insanely low number. So I think it's a good location based on that merit. And I think that, a lot of players have some sort, a lot of the Canadian players at least, are going to have some sort of connection to Vancouver, which will give them something to do in their downtime, which is good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I just found it weird that, like, I know Canada had that 14-day, like, quarantine or isolation thing with going to the country, so I kind of thought it was going to be two in the same country, two spots, and I also thought it was going to be East Coast, West Coast.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's fun.
It'll be interesting. And then my question with all this is like, all right, let's just say Vancouver and Vegas, but I mean, any of these places, all three of those Canadian cities have playoff teams. Do you swap them? Does Vegas go up to Vancouver and Vancouver go down to Vegas so no team has home ice during this?
I think that would be the only right way to do it.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. And I mean, I guess I could see where, you keep it in the same time zone too, so then it's kind of easy to show these games, I guess. So in theory, if you had one out here, then you could have like games staggered throughout the day.
So would you have like one charter plane taking these players back and forth between Vancouver and Las Vegas?
I don't know, because the issue with hockey that no other sport has is we have people from all over the world that play hockey. Like, every other one is, you maybe have some Canadians in the sport too, or maybe, one or two players from outside the States or something, like. But now you have people from Russia, people from Europe, like having to come here too, and like who knows? I mean, there's plenty of Swedish people in the league, and they did nothing. They're trying to go with pack whatever that shit is, and it's not working out well for them at all. Their cases are really bad. So like I don't know how this is gonna work. Yeah, like it's gonna be more interesting than any other sport, just based off of all the players coming there, what each city's going to do, how this is going to go down. And honestly, this could be terrible if you think about it. Like, since Vegas is a hot spot, if these players get it and now they're going back to their countries and stuff and spreading this shit even more, like
it's like when you ever saw the Planet of the Apes where the guy got sneezed on and then he like started to have the symptoms of whatever the fucking guy had. And he was like apparently a pilot, and it was like spreading all over the world, whatever he had. It was kind of funny because like that's how I felt like the whole coronavirus started. Like one guy fucked up, like gave it to somebody else, and it just like trickled down, and some asshole got on a plane, and then got like everybody everywhere. And I think it's a contact sport, so like you have to touch each other. Like there's no way of not touching each other. Like it's not.
Well, what about the goal celebrations? Like, Are people not going to be able to go up and hug someone after a goal or like high five your teammate? You got to stay away. It's going to be so weird. Like,
Exactly.
we were talking about the benches. You're going to be sitting next to someone. Fights. Like, wait, no fighting during this? Like, no checking? Like,
lick somebody again.
What?
Brad Marchand is going to lick somebody again. That's going to be.
See, that's what I'm more worried about. And like Ryan Reeves wants to beat the shit out of someone. He said he's going crazy without fighting. So like,
yeah, dude. Like, I mean, what is the protocol with fighting? And like, is it going to be like soccer? I've been watching soccer because fucking there's no sports, so I'm over here watching like the Premier League. And when they score, they pretend to handshake. They pretend to do their little fucking shit. I don't want to see Ovi scoring a goal and Backstrom and Carlson not going up and hugging him. That's what I live for. And where's the handshake lines? I live for the handshake.
Yeah, dude. That's something that is great about hockey after the series ends. I mean, at least you guys there, you could do all the stick play that Oshie and Wilson do with each other after goals now instead of just in pre-games. Yeah. We could bring back some of the ridiculous like goal celebrations with the guy like sitting on the stick and
new paddling and shit.
The fucking Yager salute and stuff. Yeah, I mean there's some ones, but you're used to seeing everyone swarm the person and like yeah.
I mean, it's the easiest thing. It's the easiest celebration because like a game-winning goal. What's the best thing to do?
Right.
Go get to the guy who just scored.
And it's natural reaction. Like, how hard is it going to be? Like, people are going to be going after, like, oh, shit, I can't go. Series-winning goal. Like, come on. Get the fuck out of here. It's going to happen.
In my opinion, I feel like they're going to have to play sooner or later, so might as well just play now. And if somebody gets sick, like, I think it's just a thing now. Like, if you get sick, if you have the symptoms, like, just you get tested and you're put on, like, IR, quote unquote, and then when you're better, you're back. Like, not saying like it's that easy, but I'm just saying like, I mean, I feel like coronavirus is going to be so ingrained in our lifestyle that we just can't stop like doing everything. Like, I understand that there's some things that we need to worry about, but like, what, we're going to just wait until there's a vaccine? What if there's never a vaccine? You know what I mean?
There will be a vaccine. We're working on it here in Pittsburgh. I know there was like Regina was one of the first places that had like worked on something that was supposed to be testable fucking months ago. So
yeah,
I mean, they were talking about you're the earliest, but that brings up another question. If you go and stick someone on IR or on Corona or whatever you want to call it for the IR slot, how many people are going up here that aren't playing, that are waiting if someone gets sick or someone gets hurt? Because you're going to have backups.
Yep. You're going to have people like, I mean, like a DSP, like somebody that you keep calling up and calling down and doing all that shit.
And again, they probably have this worked out and aren't telling us, but like, yeah, how many extra players is that each team bringing? Because you can't just like, it's not going to be something where you could just call someone up the way you could in the past.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot more involved in that. And it really is a question of how many are they going to bring, because the whole thing is they want to have this bubble and they want to have people inside this bubble and not have anyone moving in and out. And the question is, how many players is each team going to bring up and put inside the bubble that are going to be sitting on the bench? I mean, you could easily have a team get wiped out to some degree, have 4 or 5 guys go down with coronavirus. What are you going to do if you run through all of your AHL guys at that point in time and you don't have enough people to play a hockey game? Like,
do you forfeit a series because of that? Like, or do you keep playing with a shorter bench? Like, by the end, it's like Tampa Bay only has like one line that has to play the whole game. They're just fucking Iron Manning it.
That's what I'm saying. Like, especially with Tampa Bay now with their 11 guys. What if those 11 guys got sick during like the playoffs? Like, do they forfeit the rest of the game, or is it just like, or the rest of the series, and then you're just like tough titties? Like, that's it. Like,
and you would assume every team has to bring like their third goalie with them.
Oh yeah.
Because even without that, with an injury to a goalie, I mean, you'd be pretty fucked. So,
I mean, let's be honest. Like, it happened this year. Like, emergency goalie number 3 or 4 for the Hurricanes that had to come in, and they won.
I think that they should just bring the 2 emergency goalies we've seen recently to be the e-bugs for all the teams up there. Well, the Airs and I'm blanking on the guy who stopped Line and held on to the win for Chicago. Foster. Yeah. The 2 of them should just be the e-bugs for this entire thing. 1 in each city.
So they have every team's jersey, and they're just like, oh, I'm going to be on the Penguins today. Or
it's easy enough to go and have an extra jersey laying around there. They have it in the rink to build or make the jerseys.
The dude
like,
probably
I know the Caps have that shit.
He probably already had the jersey ready to go on his own merit, and he was just like, "I have the jersey. I'll fucking play."
Maybe. I mean, he was from Toronto, so I don't think he had a Carolina jersey ready to go.
You never know.
Plus, it would also solve the issue of who's cleaning the ice. You could have fucking Ayers out there cutting the ice in between periods, and then if he has to go play goalie, he got his shit up there ready to go. One less person you have to bring in.
I don't think people are also. That brings up a good point, even though you were joking. I don't think a lot of people are talking about personnel as well.
Like yeah.
The Zamboni drivers, the announcer, the I guess you could call them like the goal setter uppers and all that shit. Like
doctors.
Yeah.
Like if someone gets hurt in the middle of a game, they have to have someone there to help out.
So they're quarantined too. Like they're stuck until the end, right? I mean, like you have to keep all of them in rotation just in case. So it's like, do you get people from the local area? Like you get it for Vegas from the night or from the Golden Knights, and do you get if you go to one of those Canadian teams, they're like personnel, and they tell them to chill out. You have to stay. Like, what do you do there? Like the marketing teams who would have to do the intros to all these teams would fucking have a conniption. I would fucking lose my mind. Like, oh shit, we got to do the Penguin intro right now. Like, I don't fucking know.
I doubt they're doing that. I think they let whatever team is hosting it do all the intros.
Oh my god.
I mean, it brings up a point about like, your strength and conditioning coach. Like, are they coming along for this thing? Like, how many coaches are you bringing in? Yeah, it's.
How many nutritionists, team psychologists, stuff like that are they going to be bringing with them? Like, the amount of staff that's involved in an NHL team is just so extensive. It's ridiculous. And it really is a huge question. What are they allowed to bring? And why hasn't the NHL fucking told us anything about it yet?
The NHL is so like, after I heard like when they were going to do everything and what was going to happen, they have just been so silent until like the whole Austin Matthews and the Tampa Bay Lightning thing happened. But like everybody is now speculating. Like apparently on ESPN, I was reading an Eastern Conference player said, "Oh, I'd give it a 50-50 shot that every player will play." I mean, like those odds. I mean, of course, like I don't think every player is gonna want to play, but I don't think like half of them are not gonna play. You know what I mean? I'm gonna say 20%, if anything, will not play. I mean, I'm talking about like third liners, not like Ovi or Sydney or any of those guys. I think your main stars are gonna play.
See, I think it's the other way. I think if people are going to skip it, it's going to be the stars. And it's not like Marlowe's going to be there because he wants to win a cup. But, like, I think it will be someone like a Crosby or Ovechkin who's won a cup already. And why risk it at this point? It's meaningless. This winner's always going to have an asterisk next to Corona Cup champions. Like, so why would you risk it if you've won it already? If you're going to be on the team next year? Like, those fourth line bubble guys, they need to go there because they might be cut next year. They might not. This may be the difference between being back in the AHL or being in the NHL next year. Like, the playoffs are where stars are born, man. We wouldn't have known Andrew Shaw's name if it wasn't for the playoffs.
We should have known Shaw's name. He's a piece of shit, and I hate him.
I love Shaw, so.
Me and Zach are on the same page with Shaw. Fuck him. But like,
all right. I mean, we wouldn't. Well, no, we would have known Kessel's name regardless. So can't bring that one up.
Maybe I think Kessel.
I think Kessel will play. If they're giving away free hot dogs at whatever stadium he's at, he will be there.
He is for sure the epitome of the antibodies that would stop Corona. Like Corona would see Phil Kessel and be like, "Damn, this dude has a lot of problems. I don't think Corona needs to be in his body."
Well, I mean, if you drink Diet Coke instead of water, I mean, like, that right there is going to prevent you from getting the coronavirus.
Yeah.
Nice. His diet will prevent him from getting it. Cookies, Coke, and hot dogs, man. Fuck. It's a champ.
What were you saying, Zach?
Oh, I was saying Phil Kessel doesn't have any problems. He's a golden god, goddammit.
No, I'm saying the problems as in too many bitches to fuck, how many drinks he's going to drink that night, how many hot dogs is he going to consume. Like, that's Phil Kessel problems. Like, I wish I was Phil Kessel to the point where I can just play hockey and look exactly like Phil Kessel, and I know for a fact I'm going to get laid the next day. Like, that's how you know you're a superstar like Phil Kessel. Because Ovi, Sydney is a good, no homo, good-looking guy, like Austin Matthews, whatever. If you're Phil fucking Kessel and you're banging tail, you are a golden geese, not a god, a goose.
Gander.
Gander. A gander. Look at gander at Phil Kessel. But like I'm saying, like I'm excited to see somewhat what the plan is because I haven't heard anything. But if we get a full playoff picture, like, are we really going to put an asterisk? Like, let's be honest. If the Jets or the Caps win it, are we going to say?
That's the thing. If our team wins it, there's no asterisks. But if any other team wins it, there's a huge asterisk. Like, come on, like, and every other market is going to put that on there unless they won. Like, come on, you can't take away someone's first or only Stanley Cup. But,
Exactly.
But yeah, there's always going to be an asterisk next to it.
We got to put a third team in there. Obviously, if one of our teams win it, and obviously if Phil Kessel wins it, we make sure that cup stands, and we make sure you tell Phil Kessel he is a Stanley Cup champion.
Well, he's already been a 2-time Stanley Cup champion,
but not with the Coyotes. Like that,
right.
That's impressive. And hope
this would be their first.
Exactly, and Taylor Hall's first, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. So 2 people I'm rooting for. Hopefully we get hockey, but you never know. A team that is happy that they're not in the playoffs because they're probably the worst franchise
I don't
ever.
know if they're not happy they're in the playoffs. Some of their players really wanted to be in the playoffs.
But they so bad that I think they're the worst team ever. Like in this decade, they're the worst professional team like of all time. Like literally the Buffalo Sabres like are in shambles. Like I just don't know how many times we can bring up this team and talk about a rebuild. Like what was it, Zach, that you told us? How many GMs and how many coaches?
They've been through 5 GMs or 4 GMs in the past decade.
That's comical. Like that is comical. Like you got to give a guy. I understand giving a guy a short leash, but this team, like, what is going on? Like, where are you getting this talent from? How many first? Like, never mind, because they trade their round, like their draft picks a lot. Like they trade those draft picks a lot.
I mean, what, Eichel was number 2?
Yeah,
number 1.
Yeah, number
2, and then they just got Dahlin number 1.
Yep.
So I mean, they have 2.
I just don't get it. Like, I feel like we're always talking about the Sabres and like how might be the year that they break through. Like I feel like we went through it in the pre-show. Like we went through all the hockey teams and we felt like they've had some sort of success. But Buffalo, we can't put our finger on their success. You know what I mean?
They had
they had that 1 year reset.
High point for them.
They what?
They had Dominik Hasek, who's arguably the greatest goaltender of all time, and that's really their high point. And it was having goaltender.
He took him to the cup.
He did take him to the cup.
Yeah, but what happened after the
and
cup?
I mean that may be one of the most controversial game-losing goals there too.
That is true.
I mean, Hull was definitely in the crease.
His toe was in the crease, and this was back when crease rules actually meant something too.
Exactly.
As a goalie, how you feel about crease rules there, Zach?
I think crease rules should be expanded.
Pussy.
Wait, so you said you hated Shaw. How do you feel about Avery?
Do you really want to
especially as a goalie?
Let it out, Zach. Let it out.
No, I can't. I can't say these words out loud and still look at myself and be a proud human being.
I don't know anyone who likes Avery outside of that.
Nobody likes Avery. Yeah, nobody will shun you for cussing out Avery, but don't obviously during this time of injustice.
But are you conflicted because he's a cyclist? Like,
no,
not a professional one, but he had that issue with people being in the bike lanes and stuff. So now,
big scary little bitch. That's all I have to say on that.
Oh my God.
He's not even.
Listen, Avery will never listen. I want to bring when we get big enough. Obviously, Phil Kessel will be one of our guests, but I want to bring one guy that one of us hates, and I want them to like roast him.
That's right, Sean Avery. You come down to Fairfax, Virginia? I don't know what your address is anymore, Zach.
Woodbridge.
go to the Wing Factory on a Thursday in Ashburn, Virginia.
No.
I'm gonna be fighting him, and I'm just gonna be eating, watching until I see the first punch, and then
you'll get that bat wing because you're gonna be so engaged in the fight.
You could honestly give me somebody's arm, and I would eat it if I was engaged watching a fight. Like when we were watching the Caps Stanley Cup run. You remember that, Zach? I ate like 56 wings without even thinking. I was like,
"You were on autopilot."
Oh yeah, it's
were
literally
you
like
on the shitter during this too. Like,
I shit every time after that. That was there was a Mexican restaurant down the street, and first of all, this is a public service announcement. All places that offer all you can eat anything. You have one shitter, you are asking for fucking trouble. I'm gonna shit in your sink. Fuck off. Like, get more than one fucking shitter. I don't care about the urinals. Nobody gives a fuck about the urinals. Make it a woman's bathroom for all I care. Put shitters.
I mean, we're drinking plenty of beer too, so you got piss. But I mean, you can piss in a shitter, so it doesn't matter. Yeah.
I'm supposed to shit in the urinal. Like, so I go and I had to go shit at a Mexican restaurant. God bless their soul. I said hola and destroyed their bathroom, and I left and I said thank you. Or was it gracias? And then I left, and they were just like so confused. I was like, they're gonna be so upset of what just happened to the restaurant that some guy just came from out of nowhere to just destroy their shitter.
Disappeared for 15 minutes. Like, I'm sure they knew exactly what you did when you left. They're like, wait, what the fuck?
But I'm just saying, like, if you all you can eat anything, put at least 4 or 5 shitters. It is the third restaurant in my life where I've seen this. At Quaker Steak and Lube in Pittsburgh, they did that. Buffalo Wing Factory, and then this crab place called Captain Pell's in Fairfax. You offer all you can eat crab. That's just gonna come out like liquid. I'm sorry to be disgusting, but it's just one.
But that's what they have the urinal for. If it's coming out like liquid, it can go in the urinal.
Wouldn't that be a sight to see? Like a dude and his son come in, and there's like fucking brown guy
shitting into the urinal.
I don't know if that's the persona I want to have to a random person and his kid, but that, like, if means come to an end, I'm gonna shit in a urinal.
That may convince them to get an extra toilet in there.
I've wrote petitions. I gotta go on Twitter and write a petition. Like, you are the biggest scumbag in the world. When you were designing your restaurant, what made you think, oh, I want all you can eat wings or crab or fries or whatever, but one shitter. Let's see how funny this shit is. And it's funny when I shit everywhere, right? This is a hot topic. This is a hotter topic than anything I've ever. Zach knows. This is legit my biggest pet peeve in life.
Well, and especially if you're eating hot wings, then it becomes really hot topic.
Jesus, you don't want to know what happens. It is by far. We got off topic a little bit, but it just shows that, like the
we're a Phil Kessel podcast, and all you can eat talk here.
Phil Kessel probably has the same problem. He probably goes eats all you can eat fucking hot dogs, and he has to find a way to shit. So he shits like, but he's Phil Kessel. He can find anywhere to shit, and nobody will care. He'll go to a women's restaurant, and everybody and the women won't say shit anything.
You could just go right outside the building. They're not gonna say anything.
Exactly. Zach, what'd you say?
I said he'll get laid in the process if he goes in the women's room.
He bangs more tail than I think a porn star does. I think Phil Kessel has the biggest sex life that anybody could ask for, like more than Tom Brady if he was single.
Wow, hot take right there.
I think Phil Kessel is a golden god, and you boys agree. We're all getting some Phil Kessel jerseys when we go to the new studio.
Yeah, when are these jerseys coming in? We got time before the playoffs hit. They could be here, right? If you ordered them already. Listen,
you guys wanted patches on them and shit.
No. You could have ordered the patches separately, man.
I'm getting whenever I'm goddamn good and ready.
You said we were gonna have them for the playoffs. So,
well, there might not be a playoff, Jeffrey. All right, there might not be one.
Well, so then you got time if you order them today.
Oh, by the way, the new studio is gonna have 2 shitters. Thank you. All I'm saying, take
Wait,
my
so they're gonna have all you can eat there? Is there gonna be a wing bar at this new studio?
at the studio. I'll get you whatever the fuck you want. We're right by Fogo de Chao, so we can have all you can eat meat for $50.
All right.
I say.
I feel like Shanuti went to tour the studio, and the first thing he wanted to look at was the crappers.
Yeah. All right. So after all, I can eat wings. All right, I'll be good.
Let's be honest. We always get food before we record because we feel better about ourselves. Have a few beers, and unfortunately for the new where the old one is, it's right by the wing place that I just shat on, pun intended, about how they only have one shitter.
It wasn't really that close to the wing place.
I'd say like 5 minutes. 2 minutes.
Sterling one.
The Sterling one is 2 minutes. Which one are you thinking, Jeff?
Is Sterling and Ashburn the same one?
No. Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
That's what you were thinking.
Oh, wait. Yeah, no, I am thinking of the Sterling one, but I guess, yeah. It's been a while since I've been.
The one with our favorite waitress. The one that...
Yeah. The one who actually serves it at the right speed.
Yeah, serves it at the right speed, gives us to-go boxes. Shout out Vivian. We'll be seeing you soon, and I would hope you would just clear the crapper for me. That's all I hope. That's all I want. I don't care about the to-go bag. Just clear the crapper out.
Are they going to be open next Thursday?
Yeah, 50%.
So you're going to have to reserve a spot then for the wing eating competition.
That's true.
Is that next week? All right.
He tries to call in a reservation every time we go there anyway, even though they don't take reservations. So.
Yeah, but this is going to be different now that they can only be at 50%, and we're going to be bringing in how many people for this shit?
How many people do they? I mean, like, how many? They're not even that packed when we do it, so it's like whatever.
I guess that's true.
Yeah. Anyways, but to the Buffalo Sabres, I'm sorry we went another way, but you are literally shit. So congratulations, you won the shit award of the year. So.
And you really don't want to know what that award looks like. Shanuti made it himself.
I still think the Redskins is the worst organization.
I think that's a good debate topic. I think that like
if we have a Five Holers Face of the Franchise crossover episode, we'll discuss this.
I think
so we do have one connection to both here. So
hey man, nothing beats when the Redskins went to the playoffs twice with two different quarterbacks that they drafted in the same year and they both pieced out.
Yeah, I mean you can't make it past the playoffs. That was to hurt their draft stock that year.
Whatever. But boys, this was a great episode. Thank you so much for coming on. I hope you both are being safe. As always.
Wait. Did anyone see the thing about Datsuk?
Oh, hiding in like a monastery or something?
Yeah. There's the possibility that he's holed up in a monastery in Russia, right? Where he's
I gotta look this up.
With some like crazy priest who doesn't believe in the coronavirus. He thinks that this is all a government ploy to go and microchip people. It's like now Datsuk's agent is saying that this is bullshit, that he's at home with his family and stuff. But then he like posted a picture, and it was like a really old picture, old video of Datsuk. Like, so there's no confirmation one way or another on this. And it's just like, would be the fucking most ridiculous shit that I feel like I've heard hockey-wise coming out of this corona.
Oh, yeah. He did. Yeah, you guys are right. He thinks it's a government conspiracy. He actually was quoted saying, like, whenever you want to stop taking this seriously, I bet you the government will not hold you down in like quarantine. And I was like, what?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how it was there, but like we could be out and about if we wanted to. I mean,
they can't stop you. It's not
it's
a courteous thing. It's like I talked to an old lady today in my like apartment building. Like we both had masks on. She's like, yeah, my husband has diabetes. I'm elderly. She's like, a lot of people should just wear masks just because like you never know. And I was like, you're right, ma'am. And then I proceeded to cough.
Into your mask.
In my mask. So it was a blowback. Damn it. No, but Doc Suit, man. I mean, is that guy? His screw has always been loose. So, I mean,
yeah,
I'm not surprised.
He's Russian.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think Ovechkin's screw is kind of loose too. So both of them are.
Hey man, Russian machine never breaks.
Knock on wood.
All right, boys. Thank you again for coming on. This was a great episode. We'll be back next week. Like I said, we have a new studio getting built right here in Vienna, Virginia. So
Right in your building where you live?
no, it's like 2 minutes away, but it's next to an all-you-can-eat joint that has 3 shitters. 3. So and they got my stamp of approval. But as always, please look us up on the Four Corners Radio website, 4cr.studio. Come look at all our wonderful podcasts from Five Holers, Face of the Franchise, Degenerates Are Us, Free Therapy, Last Nice Guys, Bread and Butter, Hoopin' and Hollerin'. And always check us out on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter for updates, as well as the Five Holer Instagram and Twitter accounts. Zach.
Why go bar down when you can hit the 5 hole? Aim low, boys.